Here we have an iPhone with a springboard, and there you can see is the Safe Travels icon. And look, there's one update. When we tap on the Safe Travels icon, before the UI is rendered in Safe Travels, there are a lot of things that happen in the background. So let's talk about those. The first background task that we're going to run is to make sure that we have a GPS provider. That keeps track of our location. Then we're going to make sure we have a 3G or 4G network connection. And once we have a network connection, we're going to go out and make sure that we can access the Crime Data API. Now, if any one of these three tasks fails, Safe Travels cannot run, and we send an alert to the user. Fortunately, all of these services are typically provided in most mobile devices and shouldn't be a problem. So now we have a better idea of what is happening in the background when Safe Travels is launched. So now I'm going to pretend like I'm Delivery Man, our first user story. Now Delivery Man is probably going to put his smartphone on the console of his vehicle where he can see it, probably launch Safe Travels right before he leaves and starts making deliveries. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to launch Safe Travels. There you can see it's going out, it's doing a bunch of things, reading crime data. And it's when we launch Safe Travels, it automatically goes into travel mode. And travel mode is where we're actually moving. It keeps track of where we're at, and it recognizes how far we've gone. And based on certain settings, let's say it's 3 or 4 blocks, it's going to do a refresh, and it's going to go out and read that crime database and give us a new reading. So here, based on our current location, it has determined that we are currently in a dangerous neighborhood, but 1 mile ahead it is safe. So we've intentionally used very brightly colored big icons so that they're very visible. We don't want people squinting or trying to press buttons and that. I mean, the last thing we want to have happen here is that we have this great app where people can avoid crime, but they're getting into auto accidents when they're using the app. So we've offered here audio. It will use Bluetooth, and it will sound alarms when the crime levels change. So Delivery Man is driving along, goes 3 or 4 blocks, and I'm just going to trigger this event. Safe Travels recognizes we've gone a certain distance, and it's going to go and do a refresh. Well, here you can see it's determined that it's now safe in this immediate area, and it's still safe 1 mile ahead. And now he's driving along a little further. We've gone a few blocks, and now it said, oh, hey, it's safe in this area, but a little bit higher crime rate about a mile ahead. Maybe we'll stop and get lunch here. Now, the other thing that we can do with Safe Travels is run it in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this. You can see this little icon up here is telling us this will be, give us an indication that Safe Travels is running in the background. So you can do other things. You can go into navigation, you can make phone calls, and then when the crime level changes to a higher level, Safe Travels will come forward and give you all the audio and visual alerts. So that's Delivery Man. So out-of-town guest is probably going to use Spot Check. And Spot Check just takes your current address and gives you a quick crime level read of where you're at right now. And this is useful if maybe you went into a restaurant in the daylight, you came out a few hours later, it's dark, and you're not sure what type of neighborhood you're in. It also gives you the ability to go back and pick and choose which crimes to include in the query. For instance, maybe you just want to include motor vehicle theft to see if this is a safe place to park your car. So this is telling us 2122 North Clark Street is a high crime area. Well, of course it is. This is the site of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. So, out-of-town guest has a few hours to kill, and they read about the National Museum of Mexican Art at 1852 West 19th Street in Pilsen. But they're not sure what kind of neighborhood that is. So they can go ahead and plug this address in, and Safe Travel is going to go out and do a crime read. Oh, it's telling us 1852 West 19th Street is a safe area. Great, I'm going to head out there. By the way, if you haven't been to the National Museum of Mexican Art, it's free and it's a great way to spend an afternoon. Take your family, take your loved one. You'll really enjoy it. So that's out-of-town guest. Let's take a look at House Hunter. House Hunter is going to want to know whether or not crime is increasing or decreasing in the area that they're considering moving into. So they will use Crime Trend. Crime Trend takes your current location and gives you some historical crime data about that area. So here we're standing at 2122 North Clark Street, and it says in the past 90 days there have been 51 crimes. And a year ago, during the same time period, there were only 12. So this looks like crime is increasing in this area. I'm not sure I want to move here. Now you can also pick and choose which crimes to include in the query and narrow and widen the block radius to include in the query. What's also nice about this is, let's just say House Hunter looked at a number of homes, went to some open houses, they stopped at a restaurant on the way home, and now they want to check the crime trend in each of those houses. So let's say they looked at a house at 3278 West Waveland Avenue. Enter the address, hit enter, it'll give us a crime trend read of the area around that address. So it says in the past 90 days there have been 13. 1 year ago, same time period, there was 28. So hey, it looks like crime is actually decreasing around here. Maybe I'll make an offer on that house.